Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, April 20th, 2021. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball games. Look ahead to today's games in each sport. I'm going to do my latest NFL mock draft, go over the latest news and notes. We'll recap last night's episode of American Idol, and I'll do my best bet of the day. We're going to start in the NBA. We will go over the games from yesterday and look ahead to what is a short window for today. So, without further ado, here we go. Pistons over the Cavaliers, 109-105. Pistons, 18-40. Cleveland, 20-37. Saddiq Bey had 20 points for Detroit. Colin Sexton had 28 for Cleveland. Bulls over the Celtics, 102-96. A big win for the Bulls. They're 24-33. Boston, 31-27. Nikola Vucevic, 29 points, 9 boards for Chicago. Jaylen Brown had 23 for Boston. Warriors over the 76ers, 107-96. This was a fun game on ESPN. Golden State, 29-29. Philly, 39-18. Stephen Curry, 49 points for Golden State. Joel Embiid had 28, 13, and 8. Spurs over the Pacers, 109-94. The Spurs are 28-28. Indy, 26-31. Derek White, 25 points for San Antonio. Malcolm Brogdon had 18 for Indiana. Heat over the Rockets, 113-91. The Heat, 30-28. Houston, 15-43. Kendrick Nunn had 30 points for Miami along with 8 assists. Christian Wood had 18 for Houston. Wizards over the Thunder, 119-107. A big win for Washington. They're 24-33. OKC, 20-38. Bradley Beal had 30 points for Washington. Darius Bazley had 26 with 7 boards for OKC. Suns over the Bucks, 128-127 overtime. What was one of the best games of the year. Phoenix, 41-16. Milwaukee, 35-22. Devin Booker had 24 points in that game. Giannis, 33. But what a big statement win for Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and the Phoenix Suns. And another wild game that was great. Nuggets over the Grizzlies, 139-137 in double overtime. The Nuggets are 37-20. Memphis, 29-27. Nikola Jokic, 47 points, 15 boards, and 8 assists. John Moran had 36 and 12 assists for Memphis. Jazz over the Lakers, 111-97. The Jazz, 43-15. LA, 35-23. Taylor Horton Tucker at 24 for the Lakers, and Jordan Clarkson, 22 for Utah. Looking ahead to today's short window at 7:30, you have the Hornets and the Knicks. I'm at Knicks 8.5, total 216. Meanwhile, FanDuel has this at Knicks 6. We don't have a total yet. I'm going to lay the 6 with the Knicks. Charlotte is still missing LaMelo Ball and Gordon Hayward. So I'm going to lay the 6 with the Knicks. Magic Hawks. I'm at Hawks 17.5 total, 220.5. We know it's 12.5 and 219. I'm going to lay the 12.5 with Atlanta, as Orlando looks like a team that's, trying to tank. 7:30 TNT, Nets Pelicans. My line is pick them 231.5. We know the Pelicans are favored by 2.5. I'm taking Brooklyn to 2.5. I don't know if they're going to win. But what I do know is that no Kevin Durant, no James Harden. Maybe Kyrie plays, but if Kyrie wasn't playing, then obviously I would make my line Pelicans 4. And then the Pelicans would be an even bigger favorite than 2.5. So I'm going to take Brooklyn getting the 2.5. I don't know if they're going to win. Courtesy of Irving playing out of his mind. But the Pelicans have been losing as short favorites a lot lately. 10 o'clock TNT, the Clippers and the Trailblazers. I'm at Clippers 8 total to 26. We lost Clippers 8.5. We don't have a total yet. If the total is anything higher than 227.5, I'm betting the under. And if the total is anything lower than 224.5, I'm betting the over. And last but not least, the Timberwolves and the Kings. I'm at Sacramento 7 total to 30.5. Meanwhile, at Sacramento 4, I don't have a total yet. I'm laying the 4 at Sacramento. Sacramento, they're just more talented than Minnesota. I know Anthony Edwards has played great lately. And really, if he continues to play well, then the Timberwolves might lose their pick. And that's the other thing. The Timberwolves are tanking to keep their pick. So I'm laying the 4 at Sacramento, led by De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton, as they should beat the Timberwolves, quite frankly, pretty easily. Now I'm going to recap yesterday's NHL games and look ahead to the window for tonight. Lightning over the Hurricanes 3-2 in overtime on a game winner by Yanni Goudreau. Tampa 30, 13-2. Carolina 29, 10-5. The number 3 started game with 33 saves on 36 shots. Peter Mrazek. Number 2 started game with a goal and assist. Alex Killorn. Number 1 started game with a goal. Yanni Goudreau. Panthers over the Blue Jackets 4-2. The Panthers 29-12-5. Columbus 15-23-9. The number 3 started game with 2 assists. Anthony Duclair. The number 2 started game with a goal. Sam Bennett. And the number 1 started game with 2 goals. Frank Vetrano. Stars over the Red Wings 3-2 in a shootout. Dallas 18-14-12. Detroit 16-24-7. The number 3 started game with 2 goals. Luke Glendening. The number 2 started game with a goal. Jason Robertson. And the number 1 started game with a goal and an assist. Roope Hintz. Predators over the Blackhawks 5-2. Nashville the big win 25-21-1. Chicago 21-20-5. The number 3 started game with the goal, Tanner Giannot. The number 2 started game with 2 assists, Mikael Granlund. And the number 1 started game with a goal and assist, Luke Kunin. Sanders over the Flames 4-2. It's funny, I actually took Ottawa plus the puck and a half, the 1.5 goals on the puck line. And they ended up winning outright 16-26-4. Calgary 19-23-3. The number 3 started game with a goal, Brady Tkachuk. The number 2 started game with 26 saves on 28 shots, Matt Murray. And the number 1 started game with 2 goals, Connor Brown. Oilers over the Canadiens 4-1. Edmonton 27-15-2. Montreal 19-15-9. The number 3 started game with the goal, Ethan Bear. The number 2 started game with a goal and assist, Jesse Puljujarvi. And the number 1 started game with a goal and 2 assists, Connor McDavid, who's the runaway favorite at the moment for the Hart Trophy. Wild over the Coyotes 5-2. I actually took the Coyotes outright on the show yesterday. I should have continued. I really should have just took the over at plus money. Minnesota 28-13-3. Arizona 21-21-5 or 20-21-5. The number 3 started game with the goal, Christian Fischer. The number 2 started game with the goal, Jordan Greenway. And the number 1 started game with a goal and assist, Kevin Fiala. Golden Knights over the Sharks 3-2 in a shootout. Vegas 32-11-2. San Jose 18-22-5. So close. So close. Until I got that big upset correct. The number 3 started game didn't have a point, but played in an historic game for himself, passing Gordie Howe on the NHL's all-time games played list, a fantastic milestone. 1,768 games played, now the all-time leader in games played. So congratulations to Patrick Marleau, the number 3 started game. Alex Tuck was the number 2 started game with the shootout winner. And the number 1 started game with 2 goals, Mark Stone. All right, looking ahead to tonight's action. A 6:30 game between the Bruins and the Sabres. The Bruins are a ridiculous minus 335. Buffalo's plus 270 over under 5.5. Boston minus 1.5 is minus 110. Buffalo plus 1.5 is minus 110. Same for the over under. I'm going to go Buffalo puck line plus 1.5 and minus 110. Buffalo's been very, very frisky in a lot of games recently since the coaching change. Meanwhile, Buffalo should have beaten Boston last week in Boston, but it didn't come into fruition. So I'm going to say that Buffalo plus 1.5. I don't know if they're going to win the game outright, but I think this is close. 7 o'clock, the Rangers at the Islanders. The Islanders minus 134. The Rangers plus 114. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 265. Islanders minus 1.5 is plus 220. I'm curious to see who the Rangers go with in that. Alexander Georgiev has a great history against the Islanders. Igor Shesterkin is the better goaltender, as we all know. So if they go with Georgiev, I think that this could go up. But this is a hard one, guys. I'm going to go with the juice under. Under 5.5 at minus 120. I think regardless of who's in net, I think this is a 3-2 game, and I think that this will probably go into overtime. So the draw after 60 is 3-1. But to play it safe, I'm going to take the juice under 5.5 at minus 120. Hurricanes, Lightning. The Lightning are minus 126. The Canes are plus 108. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Lightning minus 1.5 is plus 220. Carolina plus 1.5 is minus 275. The Lightning are 1 point back of the Hurricanes for first. And this is an important game for Tampa Bay. This is one of their biggest regular season games in a couple of years. Same can be said for the Hurricanes as well. But for this pick, I'm going to go under 5.5 at minus 105. I think that Andrei Vasilevsky will play well in net. I think both teams' defenses will step up. I think this will be 3-2 regardless of who wins. So I'm going to go under 5.5 at minus 105. Blue Jackets, Panthers. The Jackets are plus 190. Panthers minus 230. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. Columbus plus 1.5 is minus 146. Florida minus 1.5 is plus 122. I'm going to go over 5.5 at minus 114. I think this is a high-scoring game. Columbus has been an over team lately, so I'm going over 5.5 at minus 114. Devils, Penguins. The Penguins are minus 290. The Devils are plus 235. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 134. Or unders minus 134. Overs plus 110. Penguins minus 1.5 is minus 102. The Devils plus 1.5 is minus 118. The Devils really look like a team that kind of has been lazy. I know they nearly beat the Rangers or could have beat the Rangers on Sunday, but I'm laying the puck line with the Pittsburgh Penguins at minus 102, minus 1.5. This could be an empty net seals type of game. But I think the total's pretty high. So instead I'm going to lay the minus 1.5 with the Penguins at minus 102. 8:30, the Red Wings against the Stars. The Stars are minus 260. The Red Wings are plus 215. Over under 8.5. Overs plus 118. Unders minus 124. Or minus 144. Red Wings plus 1.5 is minus 137. The Stars minus 1.5 is plus 114. I'm going with the dog here. Red Wings to win outright plus 215. I don't think the Stars should be this big of a favorite. Their team that's underachieved all season. Only 9 points separate these two teams in the standings. This isn't Bruins-Buffalo. So I'm going to go plus 215 with the Red Wings on the road for my long shot upset pick. 9 o'clock, you have the Maple Leafs and the Canucks. The Leafs minus 330. The Vancouver's plus 265. Over under 6.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Maple Leafs minus 1.5 is minus 113. Vancouver plus 1.5 is minus 106. That was really an emotional win for the Vancouver Canucks on Sunday in their first game back against the Maple Leafs, as we talked about on the podcast. yesterday. So I see this as a letdown spot for Vancouver, so I'm going to lay the -1.5 with Toronto with the puck line at -113. I think that Toronto bounces back. I thought they were caught looking past Vancouver the other day because Vancouver was the team first came off the COVID pause, and Toronto caught them off guard. Vancouver caught Toronto off guard. So I'm going to go Toronto -1.5 at -113. Avalanche Blues postponed because the Avalanche are dealing with COVID issues right now. And at 10 o'clock ESPN, you have the Ducks and the Kings. Or ESPN Plus. Next year, ESPN's got the air games. That's going to be fun. The Kings are -158. The Ducks are +134. Over under 5.5. Overs +110. Unders -134. The Ducks +1.5 is -230. The Kings -1.5 is +188. Only 3 points separate these teams in the standings. The Kings have really fallen off a cliff since that surprising start. So I'm going to go with another upset here. I'm going to go with the Ducks +134 outright against LA. I think that the Ducks aren't that bad of a team. And I could see this being an upset. So give me the Ducks +134 at the Kings. All right, now we'll move on to Major League Baseball. We will go over the games from yesterday, and we will look ahead to today's game. So, short window today. Twins-A's was postponed. Makeup date is today. They're having a doubleheader, so the Twins are coming back from their short little COVID pause today. So that's good news. Red Sox over the White Sox, 11-4. I got that correct. Red Sox 11-6. Chicago 8-9. Nadia Eovaldi to win. He's 3-1. Lucas Giolito to loss. He's 1-1. Alicia Hernandez homered for Boston this game. So did Alex Verdugo. Eovaldi 6 to third, 9 hits, 4 runs, no walks, 10 strikeouts. ERA 3.04. Giolito only went 1 inning, gave up 8 hits, 7 runs, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. ERA 5.79. Yikes. Giants over the Phillies 2-0. The Giants 10-6. Philly 8-8. Kevin Gausman the win. Chase Anderson the loss. Wandy Peralta the save. The lone runs of this game came off a 2-run shot by Brandon Belt. Gausman 6 innings, 6 hits, no one runs, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. ERA 2.45. Chase Anderson 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts. ERA 4.15. Cardinals over the Nationals 12-5. The Cardinals 8-8. Washington 5-9. Jack Flaherty to win. He's 3-0. Joe Ross lost. He's 1-1. Home runs in this game: Paul DeJong, Tommy Edman, Paul Goldschmidt. DeJong again hit a grand slam. A role player for the Cardinals, Justin Williams, also homered in this game. Flaherty 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. ERA 3.8. And Joe Ross 4 1/3, 8 hits, 10 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. ERA 5.87. I think I picked over for this game because of the regression of Joe Ross, and I was right. Rays over the Royals 4-1. The Rays 9-8. KC 9-6. Josh Fleming to win. He's 1-1. Danny Duffy to loss. He's 2-1. No homers in this game, amazingly enough. Fleming 5 1/3, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. ERA 8.87. Danny Duffy 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. ERA 8.5. Rangers over the Angels 6-4. So best bet comes through. Texas 8-9. LA 8-6. Kohei Arihara, the win, he's 2-1. Dylan Bundy to loss, he's 0-2. Ian Kennedy gets his 4th save of the season. Home runs in this game: Avisail Garcia, Justin Upton, and that's it. Arihara 5 2/3, 2 hits, no one runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. ERA 2.21. Dylan Bundy finally implodes: 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. ERA 4.5. Mariners over the Dodgers 4-3. A big win for Seattle. Big prove-it win there, 11-6. Dodgers 13-4. Justice Sheffield the win. He's 1-1. Dustin May the loss. He's 1-1. Rafael Martero gets his 3rd save of the year. Home runs in this game. Jose Marmologos, Taylor Trammell, and Corey Seager. Justice Sheffield pitched respectably. 5 2/3, 4 runs, 6 strikeouts, rate 4.86. Dustin made 5 innings, 4 runs, a walk, 8 strikeouts, rate 2.93. Brewers over the Padres 3-1. I called that upset. That was really good. Milwaukee 9-7, San Diego 10-8. Brendan Woodruff to win. He's 1-0. Joe Musgrove lost. He's 2-2. Josh Hader gets the second save of the year. Home runs: Luis Urias, Billy McKinney, and a pinch hit shot by Tyrone Taylor. Woodruff, 6 innings, a hit and a run, 7 strikeouts, ERA 1.96. Joe Musgrove, 7 innings, 2 runs, a walk, 13 strikeouts, ERA 1.04. Brewers at under would have been great as a parlay yesterday for that game. So in terms of baseball betting, I did fantastic. All right, today's window, 4 o'clock, you have the Dodgers and the Mariners. Julio Urias and Marco Gonzalez. The Dodgers are probably minus 200 again. Minus 172, the Mariners are plus 144, over under 8.5. Overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Dodgers minus 1.5 is minus 108. Mariners plus 1.5 is minus 111. I'm going to go the second consecutive day. Mariners run line plus 1.5 at minus 111. That was my pick yesterday, and they obviously won the game outright, which I wasn't sure about. But I'm going to go Mariners run line again, plus 1.5 at minus 111. 6 o'clock, you have a great game between the White Sox and the Indians. Carlos Rodon and Zach Plesac. Rodon coming off the no-hitter, obviously, at minus 116 favorite. Plesac's minus 102. Over under 7.5, overs minus 112, unders minus 108. White Sox minus 1.5 is plus 140. Indians plus 1.5 is minus 170. I'm going to Indians minus 102. The case is simple here. Letdown spot for Carlos Rodon after the no-hitter. Give me the Indians minus 102, and you'll see a bounce back from Zach Plesac. 6:30, Game 1 doubleheader, Twins A's. Matt Shoemaker and Sean Manaea. I don't have any lines up for this yet. But in terms of a play, if Oakland, Oakland's going to be favored. There's a Manaea. I'll probably go with the over if it's higher than 8.5 because Oakland's offense has been pretty good. Minnesota's offense, I think, could make some haymaker too. And I'm not a huge Matt Shoemaker fan, so I bet the over in Minnesota-Oakland. That's going to be a low total because of the 7 innings. So I would consider the over in Game 1. Braves-Yankees. Charlie Morton and Jameson Taillon. Oof. 5-game losing streak for the Yankees, and then the Braves have been up and down as well. Yanks are minus 118. The Braves are even money, over under 9.5. Or just 9, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. The Braves minus 1.5 is plus 184. The Yankees plus 1.5 is minus 225. I think Jameson Taillon bounces back, but I don't know about the Yankees offense. Charlie Morton has had success against the Yankees at times, but other times he's failed against the Yankees. The Yankees are favored in this game. And I don't know if minus 118 is overvalued or not. They could very well be overvalued in this spot. The Braves are a good team of their own as well. I'm going to go under 9 and make the case that Taillon pitches well, Morton pitches well, and maybe the Yankees end their 5-game losing streak in a 5-3 victory or something like that. So I'm going to go under 9, minus 115. Diamondbacks, Reds. Zach Gallen, Luis Castillo. The Reds are minus 154. The D-backs are plus 130. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 108. Unders minus 112. Diamondbacks plus 1.5 is minus 172. Reds minus 1.5 is plus 142. I'm going to go with the Diamondbacks at plus 130 as an underdog to win outright. I like Gallen a lot. I think that he has potential to be something really special down the road. So I'm going to go Diamondbacks plus 130 as a road dog at the Reds. Orioles, Marlins, Matt Harvey and Nick Neidert. The Marlins are minus 112. The Orioles are minus 104. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Orioles minus 1.5 is plus 176. Marlins plus 1.5 is minus 215. So the Marlins are favored on the money line, but the Orioles are favored on the run line. Makes no sense to me. I'm laying minus 112 with the Marlins. Neidert has shown some promise, and I think Matt Harvey's washed. So I'm going to go Marlins minus 112 against Baltimore. Pirates, Tigers, Tyler Anderson and Michael Fulmer. So a battle of two bad teams. Tigers are minus 126. Pirates are plus 108. Over under 8. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Pirates plus 1.5 is minus 200. Tigers minus 1.5 is plus 164. Michael Fulmer's actually been pretty good for Detroit this year so far. But I can see some regression. I'm going to go over 8, but the case here is that the bullpens hit off against each other. So I'm going to go over 8 at minus 105 between the Pirates and the Tigers. 7 o'clock, you have the Giants and the Phillies. Logan Webb and Zach Wheeler. The Phils are minus 162. The Giants are plus 136. Over 8 and they're 8.5. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Giants plus 1.5 is minus 156. Phillies minus 1.5 is plus 130. This is a tough one here. But I'm going to go over 8.5 at minus 102. I really don't trust the Phillies bullpen yet. And I don't trust the Giants bullpen. So similar to the Ranger and Angel game last night, I could see this going over towards the end. So I'm going to go over 8.5 at minus 102. Cardinals, Nationals. Adam Wainwright and Patrick Corbin. Nats are minus 132. The Cardinals are plus 112. Over under 9. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. The Cardinals plus 1.5 is minus 182. The Nats minus 1.5 is plus 150. Patrick Corbin's been terrible this season. I'm going with the Cardinals plus 112. Adam Wainwright's ERA is 7.11. Patrick Corbin's ERA is 21.32. What a disaster. That's a terrible free agent signing. Although it won't be looked upon as that because they won the World Series. But over 9 at minus 120 is good too, but I'm going to go with the Cardinals as the dog, plus 112 against the Nats. Blue Jays, Red Sox from Fenway. Eduardo Rodriguez and Hyunjin Ryu. The Sox are minus 116. The Blue Jays are minus 102. Over under 8. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. The Blue Jays minus 1.5 is plus 172. Red Sox plus 1.5 is minus 210. So, Blue Jays favored on the run line, but the Red Sox are favored on the money line. I'm going to lay to minus 102 at Toronto. Hyunjin Ryu is much better than Eduardo Rodriguez and has been lights out this season. So, we can go Blue Jays minus 102 against the Red Sox. 7:30 ESPN, you have the Mets and the Cubs. Taijuan Walker and Jake Arrieta. The Mets are minus 120. The Cubs are plus 102. We don't have totals and run lines out yet, but I'm going to go with the Cubs as the home dog here. Jake Arrieta has been really good, and I think he's happy to be quote-unquote home. So I'm going to go Cubs plus 102 against the Mets. 8 o'clock, you have the Rays and the Royals. Rich Hill and Brad Keller. The Royals are minus 118. The Rays are even money over under 7.5. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. The Rays minus 1.5 is plus 198. The Royals plus 1.5 is minus 245. Neither of these guys have been good this year, so I'm going over 7.5 and minus 112. And amazingly enough, this isn't a doubleheader game. This is real. This should be 8.5. I'm laying the minus 112 with the over between the Rays and the Royals. 8:30 the Astros and the Rockies. This is an interesting series. Luis Garcia and John Gray. Astros minus 118. The Rockies are even money over under 11. Overs plus 104. Unders minus 128. The Astros minus 1.5 is plus 132. The Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 162. I'm going to go with the Rockies as the home dog here at even money. John Gray looks like he's turned the corner so far this year. He has a 2.87 ERA. Whip of 1.15. He's been really good. And almost a 2-to-1 strikeout walk ratio. So I'm going to go with the Rockies as a home dog at even money against the Astros. 9:30 Game 2, Twins A's. Jose Barrios and Jesus Luzardo. Luzardo's been disappointing. Barrios has been solid. Oakland might be a dog here in this spot. And they've been playing a lot better of late. So maybe I consider the dog here in Oakland. But I'm betting on whomever's the dog in this game. And it could very well be Barrios, but I think it will be Luzardo. Rangers, Angels, Jordan Lyles and Shohei Ohtani. The Angels are minus 198. The Rangers are plus 166. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. The Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 126. Angels minus 1.5 is plus 105. This is wild. Ohtani is treated like he is he's treated like he's Garrett Cole in this market. He's not Garrett Cole. I'm going over 4.5 first half runs at minus 115. I think that the Angels will score a lot off of Lyles. This is part of my thinking, but I don't want to bet the Rangers as a huge dog to beat the Angels outright. And I think that Ohtani could potentially give up some runs here too. So I'm going to go over 4.5 at minus 115 in the first half in this spot. And last but not least, 10 o'clock, you have a great series, the Brewers and the Padres, game number 2. Corbin Burnes and Chris Paddock. The Padres are minus 118. The Brewers are even money over under 7. Overs minus 108. Unders minus 112. The Brewers minus 1.5 is plus 188. The Padres plus 1.5 is minus 230. Again, the Brewers as a dog with their ace, Corbin Burnes. He's better than Brandon Woodruff. I'm taking him even money as a dog here against the Padres. Chris Paddock hasn't been the same since his rookie season. So give me the Brewers at even money as a road dog at the Padres, who are getting smoke blown up their butts right now, quite frankly. All right, now I'm going to do my latest NFL mock draft. There are some changes that I've made from the first one to this one. So, without further ado, here we go. Number 1, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, Clemson. This is as big of a slam dunk as Joe Burrow to Cincinnati at this time a year ago, but maybe even bigger. Lawrence is someone, along with the presence of Urban Meyer, that will rejuvenate this franchise for years to come. Lawrence is the best quarterback prospect since perhaps Peyton Manning in 1998. Number 2, the New York Jets. Zach Wilson, quarterback, BYU. This pick seems like a lock at this point, as well as Wilson wasn't even considered this consensus number 2 pick 6 months ago. Despite not playing for a power conference school, Wilson really had a dominant senior season after being inconsistent before then. Number 3, the San Francisco 49ers from the Houston Texans via the Miami Dolphins. Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State. The past few weeks, many people were speculating that Mac Jones was the target for San Francisco. Some folks out there are saying they gave up that much for Mac Jones. The 49ers saw Fields' second workout, which had people speculate that Fields could be the guy here, which makes so much more sense due to his tremendous upside and pedigree. Number 40, Atlanta Falcons. Kyle Pitts, tight end, Florida. The Falcons are open to trading down in this first round, and I feel that they should absolutely entertain offers. I could see Pitts being their selection, whether it's here or down a few spots, if he's still on the board. Pitts is the best tight end prospect since Rob Gronkowski due to his route running and opposing defense's inability to stop him. 5, Cincinnati Bengals. Jamar Chase, wide receiver, LSU. The Bengals should take Penny Sewell here to shore up their offensive line, but passing on Joe Burrow's former college teammate might be a hard thing to do. Chase has tremendous upside and would instantly become Burrow's top option again, except in the pros this time. 6, Miami Dolphins from the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Waddle, wide receiver, Alabama. Similar to the previous pick in this mock, I have a former college quarterback wide receiver duo reunion. This time it's Tua Tagovailoa and Waddle reuniting as the Dolphins get to a top wideout with tremendous speed and runs great routes. 7, Detroit Lions. Penny Sewell, offensive tackle, Oregon. The Lions should be a team open to trading down here because of themselves being in what could be a lengthy rebuild, but passing on a franchise tackle in Sewell won't be easy to pass up on. Sewell will instantly make the offensive line for the Lions better and would keep Jared Goff upright. 8, Carolina Panthers. Patrick Surtain II, cornerback, Alabama. The Panthers have some options here at this selection. Despite going all defense a year ago in the draft, Surtain would be a nice fit here as the Panthers need secondary help after some free agent losses. 9, Denver Broncos. Mac Jones, quarterback, Alabama. The Broncos are rumored not to be in love with Drew Lock and were sniffing around veterans. Why not take a shot at Jones, who showed tremendous potential in his senior season at Alabama, although some question whether Jones was a product of great talent around him or not. 10, Dallas Cowboys. J.C. Horn, cornerback, South Carolina. Patrick Surtain II has been the hot name mocked to Dallas in most mock drafts, but here I have them taking Horn. I feel that Horn was super underrated in college due to playing on a bad team in South Carolina, but he's someone that has done outstanding against great SEC competition in the past. 11, New York Giants. Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle, Northwestern. The Giants' goal this offseason was to give Daniel Jones all the resources to succeed. They continue on that promise by taking the versatile lineman in Slater, whom is rising up draft boards, and there is talk that he may go before Penny Sewell, which would be insane to some. 12, Philadelphia Eagles from the San Francisco 49ers via the Miami Dolphins. Devontae Smith, wide receiver, Alabama. The Eagles have to be delighted here to have Smith fall into their laps. The reigning Heisman Trophy winner in this scenario was reunited with former college teammate Jalen Hurts, as Hurts has his new top option as his former top option at Alabama. 13, Los Angeles Chargers. Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle, Virginia Tech. This would be a very good pick for the Chargers, who need to get protection for Justin Herbert. Darrisaw would really make the Chargers' offensive line of strength at left tackle with his run blocking ability and versatility. 14, Minnesota Vikings. Kwity Paye, defensive end, Michigan. The Vikings are a bit of an unknown here, but I think they should improve one of their offensive or defensive lines. The latter is the choice here, and Paye is someone that had a great pro day performance, and draft stock is rising due to it. 15, New England Patriots. Trey Lance, quarterback, North Dakota State. The Patriots should not take a quarterback with this pick unless they make a bold move and move up for Justin Fields due to the fact that they are clearly making moves this offseason to indicate that they want to return to Super Bowl contender status. Lance to the Pats has been a popular take of late, and if anyone can help develop Lance into his potential not many saw, it's Bill Belichick. 16, Arizona Cardinals. Micah Parsons, linebacker, Penn State. If this were to be the case, this would be the second draft in a row where a top linebacker falls into the Cardinals' lap. Parsons is somebody that would have been a top 5 pick if he didn't opt out this past season. Parsons and Isaiah Simmons would be a nice pair of linebackers if they play up to potential. 17, the Las Vegas Raiders. Elijah Vera Tucker, guard offensive tackle, USC. Most people are projecting the Raiders to go defense here, but they would be wise to go offensive line here as well due to some offseason departures. Vera Tucker is someone that would really help the interior if he is to play there, but his versatility is what makes him attractive. 18, Miami Dolphins. Jalen Phillips, defensive end, Miami. Here's a homecoming scenario as Phillips gets to stay in Miami and play for the Dolphins. This would be a nice pick since the Dolphins are in dire need for young blood on their pass rush. What could have teams pause on Phillips is his injury history, but if he remains healthy, those concerns will go away. 19, the Washington football team. Zaven Collins, defensive end, outside linebacker, Tulsa. Washington has some options here, and I think a trade down or even up is in play too. Collins is someone that was overshadowed due to playing at Tulsa, but he would certainly make an already decent front seven even better. 20, the Chicago Bears. Greg Newsome II, cornerback, Northwestern. The Bears have some glaring needs on their roster, and corner is one of them. Newsome is someone that will come in and start for the Bears right away due to his athleticism, size, and length, and will replace the released Kyle Fuller. 21, Indianapolis Colts. Taven Jenkins, offensive tackle, Oklahoma State. With the retirement of Anthony Costanzo, the Colts now have a hole in their offensive line. Jenkins is someone whose stock is rising with the draft coming up in 9 days as he moves his feet well in space, which would help Carson Wentz. 22, the Tennessee Titans. Carlos Gresham, defensive end, Wake Forest. Gresham would be looked upon as a reach for many, but the fit here is fine. The Titans have a need in their pass rush, even with the addition of Bud Dupree, as he can't do it alone, and Gresham would start here right away alongside Dupree. Number 23, the New York Jets from the Seattle Seahawks. Caleb Farley, cornerback, Virginia. This would be a steal for the Jets, as Farley is somebody that was being mocked as a top 10 pick not long ago. Farley's injury issues and the fact he opted out last season is what causing his drop on draft boards. 24, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Najee Harris, running back, Alabama. Another hot rumor as the draft is 9 days away is that the Steelers are eyeing a running back with their first-round pick as they're trying for one last hurrah with Ben Roethlisberger. Harris is someone that is a 3-down back and would be an upgrade over the departed James Conner. 25, Jacksonville Jaguars from the Los Angeles Rams. Trayvon Mulrig, safety, TCU. Here I have the Jags adding to their young asset collection on defense with Mulrig. I always felt that Mulrig was overshadowed in college due to playing in the Big 12, and he is super athletic and would be a nice fit in the Jags' young defense. 26, Cleveland Browns. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, linebacker, Notre Dame. This would be a nice fit for the Browns as they go with a position of need. Owusu-Koramoah is somebody that can play 3 downs and provides versatility and is super athletic. 27, the Baltimore Ravens. Rashad Bateman, wide receiver, Minnesota. The Ravens can go in any direction here, and I have them snagging the talented receiver in Bateman. His big playability and being a red zone threat is something that Lamar Jackson and this offense can use. 28, the New Orleans Saints. Terrence Marshall, wide receiver, LSU. Marshall is someone that is just flat out underrated due to being in a loaded wide receiver draft class and was overshadowed by Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson in his collegiate career. Marshall would really help the Saints offense as they need to replace Emmanuel Sanders. 29, Green Bay Packers. Jamin Davis, linebacker, Kentucky. Davis, I feel, is one of the more underrated players in this entire draft, reminding me of former Texas Tech Red Raider and current Seattle Seahawk linebacker Jordan Brooks. The Packers lack a difference maker in the middle of their defense, and Davis can be that. 30, Buffalo Bills. Asante Samuel Jr., cornerback, Florida State. The Bills are a bit of a wild card here as they can go in a number of directions or potentially trade out. Samuel is someone that reminds folks of Jair Alexander, and even if he's a poor man's version, he and Trey White could be a great cornerback duo. 31, Kansas City Chiefs. Alex Leatherwood, offensive tackle, Alabama. The Chiefs are in dire need of offensive line reinforcements after releasing Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz. Weatherwood would be a great option here as he's been battle-tested in college several times and could start right away. 32, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Azeez Ojulari, defensive end, Georgia. The Buccaneers really don't have any needs as they are bringing the band back together to try for a repeat. Ojulari makes sense here because Jason Pierre-Paul isn't getting any younger and they don't have much depth behind him and Shaq Barrett, as Ojulari can play some snaps and work his way to being a full-time starter down the road. All right, that's it for the mock draft, and now I'm going to go over the latest news and notes. Very interesting stuff that happened yesterday, that's for sure. And this morning as Mike Tomlin gets a 3-year contract extension with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's interesting because there's some people that feel that Tomlin should have been let go. But they did make changes to Tomlin's staff. I think Tomlin's getting a lot of benefits of the doubt from winning a Super Bowl all the way back in 2009. I feel the same as I did with some other coaches and managers in sports that haven't won in a long time but just got benefit of the doubt courtesy of one, Sean Payton, among one of them in the NFL, but he's a great coach. Not to say that Tomlin isn't a great coach. He is. But I still feel like that some of these guys get benefits of the doubt for a long time. And sometimes we see in sports as sometimes teams part ways with certain coaches and managers, as we saw with the Yankees with Joe Girardi, the Giants with Tom Coughlin back in the day, and the Steelers continue to try to give Ben Roethlisberger one last hurrah before they could potentially go into a major, major rebuild down the road. So, Mike Tomlin contract extension. Jordan Reed is retiring. The former Pro Bowl tight end is ending his NFL career after 7 seasons. Jordan Reed just had too many concussion and injury problems. He was a good tight end when he was healthy. Unfortunate for him. Chris Paul passes Mac Johnson in assists as he moves in the 5th on the all-time assist list, passing Magic Johnson in the win over the Bucks. Kobe Bryant's Nike deal has expired as Vanessa Bryant and family did not renew the deal, which expired April 13th. That's sad. I guess that maybe Vanessa will look at another company to try to get a shoe deal for Kobe, but that's just unfortunate. Sterling Brown was assaulted as the Rockets confirmed that Brown suffered a facial lacerations after being the victim of an assault Sunday night. That's unfortunate. Hopefully Sterling Brown gets well soon. NBA free agency date is announced. Negotiations begin August 2nd, and teams can sign players on August 6th. So August 2nd will begin NBA free agency. So that is a month after what it normally is. We normally see it July 1st. I know it was June 30th a couple years ago. But now it's like a month afterward at August 2nd. And obviously in 2020 it was October something, but I forget the exact date. Some good news for the Charlotte Hornets as LaMelo Ball may return in 7 to 10 days. That there's optimism that he can make his return to the lineup soon. That would be really good, as he can make one last push for Rookie of the Year. Miles Turner's out indefinitely as the Pacers' big man has a partial tear of the plantar plate in the great toe. So that's a big loss for the Pacers. Miles Turner is a solid player for them, but it could open things up for Domantas Sabonis. I know the Pacers have had some issues with those two guys playing together, but both of them have great contributes to the Pacers, so this is actually a big loss for them. We talked about it earlier. Durant's out tonight against the Pelicans. Brad Stevens denies the Indiana rumor as the Celtics coach says that he was never offered that after a report came out that said that Indiana offered him a $70 million deal for the head coaching job. Jeannie Buss admitted that Kobe to the Clippers was possible, as she said that Kobe loved challenges and guiding Clippers to the title met the criteria of difficult. That would have been a NBA history changer if Kobe ended up on the Clippers. Obviously, Kobe requested a trade back in the mid-2000s because there was dysfunction going on in that organization. Phil Jackson was in and out. And ultimately, the rest is history. They acquired Pau Gasol, and they go to 3 finals in a row, including winning 2 titles. Stephen Jones came out and said that teams are interested in Dallas's pick, and the Cowboys are drawing interest from teams for the 10 overall pick. I wonder if the Cowboys want to trade up or down. If they are really set on Surtain, maybe they could potentially trade up to 7 to Detroit to avoid any chance Carolina gets of taking a corner. So maybe them and Detroit are a match. And Miami is getting calls on the 6th pick as the Dolphins have received calls from teams looking up to trade up to the 6th. Zach Hyman of the Maple Leafs has a sprained MCL, as Sheldon Keefe says that the Maple Leafs winger will be out at least 2 weeks. That is a big loss for the Maple Leafs. Hyman's a good player for them. Brian Cashman spoke about the Yankees' slow start, as the Yankees GM said that the team won't overreact to the rough start, but it's 15 games he'd like to forget. This is what's good about the Yankees. They are never silent when it comes to things like this. I've always criticized other New York teams like the Knicks, the Mets, the Jets, and the Giants for not speaking up about failures. But good on the Yankees for coming out and speaking about it. I agree with Cashman that better days are ahead. Yes, it is 15 games that everybody would like to forget. It's been terrible. Literally every player other than Garrett Cole has not lived up to expectations. So, hopefully starting tonight, things turn around for the New York Yankees. Jalen Suggs is entering the NBA draft as the Jags star announces that he's declaring for the draft and is auctioning off an NFT and signed Game War shoes. Ronald Acuna Jr. has an abdominal strain as the Brave star underwent an MRI, revealing a mild strain, and he's now day-to-day. That is a big loss for the Braves offense as the New York Yankees catch a huge break coming up. Aldon Smith wanted by police as the Seahawks defensive end, wanted by Louisiana police for alleged second-degree battery on April 17th. Yikes. And one last note is that Alex Smith retires from the NFL after 16 years in the league. A very good career for Alex Smith. Number 1 overall pick in 2005. He was a late bloomer, carried the 49ers to the NFC title game in 2011. Many people say they made it there in spite of him because obviously the next year Kaepernick comes in, takes them to the Super Bowl. The issue is that Kaepernick just had more upside. And then the same thing happened with the Chiefs. Alex Smith, along with Andy Reid, lead the Chiefs to big things, to a lot of big moments. But then Mahomes comes in and then they take the next step. So Alex Smith was always looked upon as the guy that took a team from bad to solid, but didn't put him from solid to greatness, like what Kaepernick did for the 49ers, although they did not win that Super Bowl, but came darn close. And obviously Mahomes. with the Chiefs. So, a great career for Alex Smith. Obviously, the 2020 Comeback Player of the Year after the big knee injury that he suffered. And because of what he came back from, leading the Washington football team to the playoffs, he deserved the Comeback Player of the Year a year ago. All right, now we will go over American Idol from last night, as Idol brought back 10 contestants from last season to fight for one last spot in the Idol Top 10, as they're calling it the comeback. All right, Sanaya Elise went first. She was in the top 20, and she performed Edge of Midnight, the remix, as she performed the song that Miley Cyrus redid that was originally by Stevie Nicks. Nick Mariko went second, and he performed City Lights, which was an original song of his. He was a top 20 guy. Elena Jester went third. She was top 20 as well, and she performed I'll Never Love Again by Lady Gaga. That was outstanding. Elena was amazing. Franklin Boone went fourth. He performed Meant to Live by Switchfoot. He was in the top 20. Faith Becknell was also top 20 as she performed Crybaby by Janis Joplin. Sixth was Arthur Gunn. He was the runner-up, obviously, to Just Sam. He performed Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. He was outstanding. Dwayne Crocker Jr. went seventh, and he was a top 20 contestant performing Voice of God, by Dante Bowie featuring Stephanie Gretzinger and Chandler Moore. Michaela Phillips went eighth. She was in the top 11, and she performed Anyone by Demi Lovato. Olivia Ximenez went ninth. She was a top 20 placement, and she performed Say Yes by Michelle Williams, featuring Beyonce and Kelly Rowland, so obviously Destiny's Child. And going last was Louis Knight, as he was a top 7 contestant from a year ago, and he performed an original song that he wrote, Maybe That. Obviously, he had that story that he brought to his audition about his friend that unfortunately killed himself, and he performed his original song at his audition last season that was honoring him, and his original song he wrote that he performed tonight, he wrote that in the hotel as he was auditioning for American Idol last year. So that's a pretty neat story. Non-competition performances, Harry Connick Jr. performed Alone with My Faith in Old Time Religion, and former Idol alumnus Lauren Daigle performed Look Up Child. I thought the best performance was Elena Jester with I'll Never Love Again. She was outstanding. But I just have this feeling that Arthur Gunn is going to get the popular vote in. I thought Arthur Gunn was great. I thought Dwayne Crocker was great. Olivia Ximenez was great. Franklin Boone was really good. Louis Knight obviously was fantastic as well. The people I just listed, Boone, Gunn, Crocker Jr., Ximenez, Jester, and Knight, those 6, I think, are the 6 contenders for that last spot. But if I had to make a pick at the moment, I would go with Arthur Gunn, because I think that the popularity will get him in, and I thought he was outstanding, although Elena was amazing too. I was very impressed with Elena. She, I thought, really improved from last season. All right, best bet of the day. brought to you by FanDuel. I love the over 8.5 or 7.5. Excuse me. It went up to 8 between the Rays and the Royals. I'm getting some value, minus 104, so I don't have to really pay some juice. So I'm going to go over 8 between the Royals and the Rays. I laid a unit on it, over 8, minus 104 between the Rays and the Royals for my best bet of the day. All right, so that's it for the show today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping today's NHL, NBA, and MLB games, looking at tomorrow's games. I'll do MLB Power Rankings. I'll go over the latest news and notes yet again. We'll preview the first Super 8 episode of The Masked Singer, which is tomorrow night, and I'll have my best bet of the day for you guys as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.